Allah is Al-Mu'izz, the honorer. And this is another name of Allah that encompasses that root word that has the attachment to Izzah. And we saw this previously with Al-Aziz. And Al-Aziz was the possessor of honor. But what Al-Mu'izz is the bestower of honor. So this is where we see the difference. And Al-Mu'izz is one of the names of Allah that sometimes actually does not make the list of the 99 names of Allah. And the reason being because it does not show up in the Quran just as it is, as Al-Mu'izz. We understand that Allah is the giver of honor from the meaning of many verses in the Quran, but we never actually see Al-Mu'izz in the Quran. So if you ever see a list and the name isn't on there, that could be why. And with Al-Mu'izz, the bestower of honor, we should always contemplate the fact that honor is not the same as popularity, or honor is not the same as wealth. So just because somebody nowadays, they may be very well known or famous, or they may be extremely wealthy or rich, it doesn't mean that they have honor. And perhaps a really good example of this is Abu Lahab at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So Abu Lahab was the uncle of the Prophet, and he had power and he had wealth. And we know that he will be one of the completely dishonored ones. And he was actually so much so that Allah revealed a surah in the Quran specifically about him. And it says that his wealth will not avail him. It will be of no use to him. And because of his treatment, because of his oppression, because of his tyranny, he is one who is not getting the honor of Allah. And then in comparison, the Prophet ﷺ, who we know lived a simple life, who didn't have power and wealth, right? And struggled at the beginning. And so did so many of the followers. They were often the poor. They were often the slaves. And they are the ones that Al-Mu'izz will honor. And he will honor them on the Day of Judgment. And he will honor them in the continuation of their stories and the ways that we remember them. So we always pray that Allah makes us from the people who Al-Mu'izz bestows their honor on, his honor on. And that we are the honorable ones who love Islam and love the Prophet ﷺ and will be honored with his presence on the Day of Judgment and be seated next to him in Jannat al-Firdaus. Assalamu alaikum.